This podcast is sponsored by Relevant, a location-based mobile network personalized by your interests. Customize your newsfeed to consolidate all the information you care about all in one place to quickly and easily find what's relevant to you. Find out what's going on in your local area and reach your community from the palm of your hand. Relevant is available on iOS and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
What's up, everyone? You're listening to the Poorly Edited Podcast. We're here once again at Live at 13. We have tonight with us the two hosts of the Books as Bad as Twilight podcast, Brittany and Danielle. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I feel great. I didn't mess up the name, so things are going perfect.
It's fine. We mess it up too.
Do you really?
Oh my god, yeah. So many times when we do our sign out, I guess, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
When we say goodbye.
Yeah. Okay.
I never say it. Danielle always does because I mumble the words every single goddamn time. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I keep forgetting.
You're fine.
We're canceled. It's
over.
Yeah.
My bank account has already been fined by the FCC. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're fast about it. No.
$1 million.
No,
Wait,
that was
what?
a joke. That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
That was a joke. No, I meant like...
Dude, I told you, I'm very gullible. You can't lie to me.
I'm like, wait, what?
Oh my god, we're gonna get shut down.
No.
If that's how gullible, I don't know if we could do the rest of the show. I don't know how it's gonna go. Really,
I'll just
You
believe
should just assume
okay.
we're lying.
Okay.
Dude, there's a great episode of 30
wait a
Rock
minute.
where
Are
one of
you
the
lying
actors-
about assuming that we're lying?
I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not going down that
There's
rabbit
this
hole.
great episode of 30 Rock where one of the actors in the show realized that he can curse on air because the FCC is going to fine him for less than he makes. So he can just do whatever he wants.
Oh, that's amazing.
Does that work like that? You
Probably.
still find the money, though.
Yeah. No, he just makes a ton of money, though. So he's like, I can just do whatever I want
haven't
because
watched
they're going to
30
fine
Rock in
me.
a while.
Okay.
I've never watched 30 Rock.
Oh my
I
God,
should,
it's so
though.
good.
I
I'm a
want
big
to.
fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll
On
start.
that note, I think Alec Baldwin got charged for punching some dude last week or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Didn't
Did
that
he
just
really?
In real life.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah.
or on 30 Rock. Oh,
In real
I
life.
think 30 Rock was canceled, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Well, it just
should
ran
be.
its course. It was like,
I'm just kidding.
I think it was on for like 7 seasons.
Dude!
If they're canceled, we're next. I'll tell you what.
I
hope
told my,
so.
We were talking about 30 Rock, and I told my mom about it, and she was like, "Oh, I never liked that show." I'm like, "You definitely never watched that show." And she's like, "Yeah, it's an old show," and I'm like, "No,
Aw,
definitely
Mom.
not." I was like, "You're talking about Third Rock from
Third
the
Rock from the Sun. Yeah.
That's what she was talking
Jeez.
about.
That was a
Mom.
weird
So-
show.
I love your
I've never
mom.
watched it. Yeah. Yeah,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was on that show.
Was he
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Was that spawned
Jeez.
because Mork and Mindy was popular?
maybe. But
I
then
know.
again-
Mork and Mindy, is that the one with
Robin Williams?
No, I think Robin Williams was a response to that. I think it was the other way
No.
around, wasn't it?
No,
So-
Robin Williams was on Mork and Mindy.
But
And
Mork and
More-
Mindy was after Third Rock from the Sun?
I don't
No,
know.
it was before.
Mork was a
It's definitely
spin-off
before.
character from
You
Happy
guys-
Days.
Happy Days. Yep.
Mork?
Everyone has phones here. Look it up.
This is more fun.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
I have like
okay.
a
no.
2%
Yeah,
battery
Happy
right
Days.
now.
That was the whole point. Pat's original job was supposed to be the guy who just Googles things. He wasn't really supposed to
Dude,
talk
then you
ever.
had to go to Florida and use the computer.
Yeah,
space.
I
That was
know,
just my
yeah.
Our
fault.
radio station's been under reconstruction for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Not 5 years, but
That's-
5 months. It's been
5 months?
5 months.
Christ.
It feels
Yeah.
like 5 months. It's
We've
been
been
a long
homeless
time.
for that long.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
pretty
I
cool,
got
though.
most of the way
Think it was
here,
good
and Amresse is like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Is this not where we're shooting today?"
No, we're here. We're here at Live at 13, 2 weeks after the show we were just at, which was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Chandler,
Edited it.
did you have a good time 2 weeks ago here?
Oh yeah, dude. it
Oh,
was
right.
a
No,
blast,
Disney
man.
World. Yeah. How's that going? Because it seems to be worse and worse every week for you.
Yeah,
Don't
it is.
say that. They're
It
gonna
just
fire
gets
him.
worse.
it's funny.
I'm trying to get
It's,
him fired. There's a concert in December that I'm trying to get him there for, but he won't get fired.
I'm
really-
trying to get fired really bad. I've already gotten a reprimand. I've showed up late to work
you?
a ton of times and called off a ton of
Oh,
times.
no.
I went to a Halloween party with my bosses and my coworkers and got drunk, and like that didn't get me
Why don't
fired
you-
at all. Nothing
why-
I did there.
Why don't you just quit?
I'm not a quitter, but I'm not above self-sabotage.
Right.
You know,
That's
if I'm
more
gonna
fun.
go out, it's gonna be guns blazing.
Right,
You know, so
That's really funny. Last time I quit a job, actually 2 times ago, I threw myself a pizza party
Nice.
while I was
That's
there.
great.
That's
I remember
good.
that
That's a good
story.
idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's really good.
My manager was a dick, so I threw myself a pizza party and left. I was late.
They're like, you can't eat pizza in here. Like, I know, and I won't ever again.
That reminds me, on Wednesday, somebody called out for my job, and they're such a problem child that I was so happy that I bought everybody donuts.
Nice.
dude.
That's
She's
awesome.
a keeper.
That's really
savage
funny.
as
Yeah.
fuck.
I went to the library the other day, and there's like these open cubicles where people can sit and do work.
Yeah.
And this guy was sitting there, and he was on the phone with, I guess, somebody he worked with, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna call out the day before Christmas, say I'm sick. It's totally gonna work."
God.
Sitting there, and I'm like,
Wow,
and
he's
like
a rebel.
40, like 40. I'm like, why?
Dude, that move never goes out of style. What are
Yeah.
they gonna do? Say I'm not sick?
Yeah.
I'll show them.
Yeah.
He's very
I got
rebellious.
Christmas fever.
So, Chandler,
Sure, yeah.
you were very adamant about bringing something up immediately today.
Yeah, let's air our grievances
Yeah,
right
yeah,
out of the
yeah.
gate.
So I have some dirty laundry to air out with books as bad as Twilight here,
Oh, no.
and I listened to quite a few of your podcasts, and I think we
Please
all
don't.
did here from the poorly edited team on our end, and
Oh, no.
one thing just kept coming up, something that was just this glaring issue that I noticed, and that you guys say you don't like Star Wars, but you managed to bring it up pretty often.
That's Danielle.
That's pretty funny.
That's
so-
not me.
We all watched 3 different episodes, and then Chandler brought that up, and we're both like, "Yeah, did we watch the same episode?"
Yeah.
No,
Like,
it's just
I don't remember ever talking about Star Wars.
You've talked about it a
comes up.
couple
Yeah.
times.
Have I?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like
Okay.
especially the one that we just. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
you're
you're
like, not too long ago. You had said it's like in Star Wars, and I was like, I don't watch it. You're like, oh, good, we don't have to talk about it. And then we
think-
jumped.
I
in.
That was the one that was one of them I
Never
listened
mind.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't hate on Star Wars. I like the new movies, not like Rogue One and stuff. I like
Okay.
Episode 7 and 8. I'm not.
that just makes Chandler madder.
Sorry, Chandler.
Sorry, Chandler.
Don't
Sorry.
apologize. He's
It's
wrong.
we can't even
Right.
see him. We're
Right,
looking
yeah.
at the back of a
Yeah.
laptop.
I
so
know.
you know
You
how
can
to-
say
sorry,
whatever you
Chandler.
want to him.
True.
It's fine.
We're all speaking. This entire podcast is technically behind his back.
I'm upset. That's all I'm gonna say. I was
Nice.
for people
Nice.
who don't care about Star Wars. You talk about it a lot. It sounds like something that people who are fans of Star Wars would do. That's all.
Oh,
I
so
do like
you're saying they're closet Star Wars fans? Is what
I'm
you're saying?
saying.
I
That's-
can
think that's what I'm
honestly
saying.
tell you, I have not watched a single Star Wars.
I don't know
I've
if I
watched
believe you.
Star Trek.
Well,
Does that count?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
well, there
That
we
does
go.
count. I think it counts.
I've
Like
read.
this-
This is going to sound very literary,
Topical.
bookish nerd. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, topical. I've read there's books that are basically
Yeah.
retelling the Shakespeare book. I mean, movies.
Yes.
So
Oh
there's
yeah, I got
yes,
this from my
those are
brother once.
great.
Yeah, so that's why I know Star Wars.
Those are great.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So
Because Star Wars is Shakespeare,
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly.
When you
Oh,
get
yeah.
right down
Yeah.
to it.
so is Lion
I
King.
love it.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So
based
is Nemo.
Sure.
on- Nemo?
Yeah,
What is that based?
I think
So
that's...
is Corey in the house.
Right.
Corey in the house.
Oh
of
wait,
cour-
this
of
is
course.
real.
It's a
Yeah,
real
no,
thing.
These are real things. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
I'm not lying this time, I promise. Corey in the House, I don't think.
Yeah, I
is.
think
Okay.
that's.
So I am not gonna fall for that one.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk
Lion
about
King
it.
2 is based off Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, of
The Lion King
course.
2. I think it's a good movie. What can I say?
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Are there actual parallels?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about Finding Nemo. That's what I
Oh,
want.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
fucking remember
Okay,
which
well,
one it's based
Just
on.
explain the plot of Finding Nemo.
Yeah,
to him.
just-
He doesn't care about
Yeah.
it.
Oh, have
Recap,
you
yeah.
never seen Finding
No,
Nemo?
I love Finding
Just a
Nemo.
quick
Oh,
recap.
okay.
I've actually
Well,
seen
then-
Finding Nemo plenty of
Yeah,
times.
dude, imagine Zach going home like, dude, I'm gonna watch the fuck out of Finding.
I legitimately really like Finding Nemo. I do.
Oh, what? I live in the Netherlands.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the
I
one.
couldn't even actually say it.
Yeah, I was
So there we go.
We just went to the Finding Nemo ride in Epcot with Amresse when she was still here, and they have a big aquarium that's like a 2-story aquarium there. And I saw a sea manatee for the first time, and
Sea cow.
because there's just not a lot of those in aquariums for some reason. But they're one of the funniest animals to watch because they're just like huge floating logs in the
amazing.
ocean. Like they're just the least graceful organism you would ever see swimming around. Like they just kind of just listlessly float and glide through the water, and they just look like they don't even have control of what they're doing. Like they're-
Now I might
It's
be
just-
lying, but I think manatees are where mermaids originated from.
Oh, I
Yes,
think
they
you're
are.
right.
I think that's true.
It's because sailors were drunk
Yes.
/ away from home for so long.
Right.
Yeah, that they just. Oh no, sorry.
That's
I'm gonna keep
bad.
it PG.
Oh.
I apologize.
Oh no.
They're fucking the manatees. Is what you're
Yeah,
suggesting there.
I was gonna say
Okay.
jerking it to the manatees,
Okay.
but yeah,
Yeah.
we're close.
Hey,
close.
who wouldn't?
Right. It's rough
know?
out there
I
on the sea,
mean-
man.
Yeah.
I was in a public aquarium. That was the only reason.
Did you jerk it in the aquarium? That's
No,
disgusting,
I can't.
Chandler.
You can now. You can
That would
scuba
get you
dive.
fired, dude.
Yeah, you could do that and get fired.
Yeah.
Your
That's a
employers
great
listen
There
idea.
you go.
Do you
There
remember
you
when you
go.
got fired for fucking that manatee?
That's going out with a bang for sure.
More ways than one.
For
Am I
sure.
right, guys?
Ah, jeez. Books.
Right.
Oh yeah, about that.
Yeah,
Right.
about
Be-
that, yeah.
Read any good? I read all the Pirates of the Caribbean Jack Sparrow novels
Oh my
They're-
god.
on the
Those are
subject
good.
of sirens and sea manatees.
Do they actually have books for that?
Yeah, it's when Jack Sparrow's a kid, which is
Oh.
not as exciting as it probably doesn't sound.
Were they
Because
good?
Johnny Depp isn't in it. No, they're fine.
Wait, Johnny Depp
sold.
was in it?
He wasn't.
They
He
say
wasn't
Johnny
in the
Depp.
book.
Johnny
No,
Depp
he's
was
not
in
in
a
it.
book.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp's in the book.
He's a character in the
Is that
book.
when
Okay.
they're like describing
Sorry,
Jack
made you
Sparrow?
say
They're like,
Johnny
he's very,
Depp.
He's very reminiscent of Johnny
Edward
Depp.
Scissorhands.
Just look up
Edward
a picture of
Scissorhands,
Johnny
yeah.
Depp and you'll see what Jack Sparrow looks like.
Right.
Wait.
No, he's like a young teenager at the time of those.
That's pretty
books.
cool though.
Well, that would make sense because I haven't seen the fifth movie, but he's a kid.
No one has.
No one has.
Is a
yeah.
kid in the
Is
fifth
he?
movie?
Yeah.
Not the whole movie, but there's
Oh, it's a
apparently a
flashback?
part.
Okay.
Oh, I thought okay. I
It's like in Star Wars, how you in the episode one you
Right,
see
right.
Anakin as a kid.
Right. Everybody can relate
What's
to
the
that.
name of the
Everyone
slug
can
thing
relate
in
to
Star Wars?
Which one?
The Hutts.
Yeah, Jabba the
Jabba the
Hutt.
Hutt.
What is the species of that?
A slug.
A hut.
Okay.
Hut.
Is it just Hut?
Huts.
I thought that was
Yeah.
like a family name or some shit. I didn't know.
That's fair enough.
Oh no, it is a family name. You're right.
Oh,
Chandler
see,
was
there you
wrong.
go. There you
Thank
go.
you.
Yeah, I
What
was
an
wrong.
idiot.
I'll take my
It's
lead.
because they threw me off by saying they liked episode 8 at the beginning.
What, you didn't like episode
We're not
8?
getting into this. We're not getting into this.
We've talked about
We're not
this too
getting into
much.
this. Books as bad as Twilight.
Okay, yes. So basically for us, Danielle is the literary snob, and I just read everything for brain candy. So we
That's
have
kind of where I'm at.
brain
Brain
candy.
candy's good.
Yeah.
Delicious.
And you, I think I was reading on your website, you're an English major with like a creative writing something in there as well.
Danielle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I really like books and reading, and like my favorite book is Pride and Prejudice. So that says a lot
Nice.
about me.
Yeah.
So which we might actually tackle.
Yeah, she's gonna read Pride and Prejudice. I'm gonna read Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So
Okay.
Nice.
Here's an interesting fact about that book. So we were gonna read that for our 3rd season, but
She just locked it in.
well,
she walked out.
Okay.
yeah, I walked out because basically it's literally Pride and Prejudice with just a few sentences and or paragraphs
The
of
zombies are
zombies
fun.
because it's in the free domain.
Oh.
Okay.
That's
so
funny.
it's not a new book. It's just Pride and Prejudice
Wait,
with
does that
a few
mean
zombies.
we can go make like Pride and Prejudice and like mummies or
Oh
something?
yeah.
Yes.
100%.
Let's cash in on
Go
that.
do
Pride
it.
and Prejudice and the Poorly Edited Podcast.
Pride
Oh
and
my
Prejudice and Star Wars.
I agree.
Can we just keep writing in scenes where
Really? That's where I've only read it 2.
I've read it 3 times.
What?
Pride and Prejudice. She said she's read it 3 times.
Oh, good job. I can see
very-
you now.
I'll read it my 3rd time for the podcast.
Yeah.
But she'll read the zombie one. But again, it's the same book. It's
Yeah.
just
No.
some zombies.
No.
Yeah.
So do you guys pick a lot of the books you read? Because I know you do have people vote as well.
Yes.
Is that like the standard practice for that? Or do you guys just sometimes be like, I want to read Pride and Prejudice?
Well, that's how it was going to be, but voting. But we were so exhausted after reading Harry Potter, the Cursed
Child.
Child.
Yeah.
We were so exhausted after reading that when we had Pride and Prejudice and Zombies up next. That's why Danielle walked out. And she was like, I can't do this right now.
No.
So we picked the next one, which was Elixir.
Which was, I think, voted like second in the poll. So
Yeah.
that's why.
Because we want this to be like a book club.
Yeah.
So
Right.
like each month we'll have a book that we talk and discuss, and then we let everyone else pick the next one.
So is there like a cutoff though where if like a book enters the list and you're like, this is too good?
We
Can't-
set the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
I enjoy this too much. We have to change gears here.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
So this is kind of spoiler for future seasons.
Ooh.
But we're kind of going to read some good books as well in the future.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But,
Yeah.
Why
but
does it
won't
have to be bad books? Where
Well,
did that come from?
Well,
okay.
yeah.
Do you want to do this because this was your baby?
Well, okay. So the reason I wanted to start it was because I've just read so many mediocre books that people.
There's
were
a
saying,
lot of bad books out there.
Yeah, like, and I just thought, oh, well, it's funny to talk about them, so that's why I wanted to start it. But it was when we read Pride and Prejudice and Zombies that when I decided I didn't like it, I was like, what can we do to still stay on that same path? And Brittany was the one who suggested I read Pride and Prejudice. She read the zombie one. And I won't say yet, but it will be a different podcast altogether. Still called Babat.
Yeah.
B-A-B-A-T. Just not books as bad as Twilight. So
Right.
we won't tell you folks.
And we will
Yeah.
be reading. We'll be reading good books.
Yes.
And then discussing those.
Yeah, so we'll compare those.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
I'll actually gonna ask later on, but since we're here now,
Yeah, might as well.
I was gonna ask if you had to pick, if you're doing the opposite, which I guess you are now, instead of Twilight, what would be the book as good as? What would the book be?
Okay.
Well,
That's rough.
Ooh.
So, what you mean for the namesake?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do the opposite podcast, for
Books as good
well, I
as-
won't
books as
say
good
the
as
actual
blank.
name because I don't. We just picked that because.
I think we should. I think we could say. I
Okay,
think
that's
it's pretty
fine,
solid.
yeah.
No one
No one
watches,
watches
this.
this
It's
anyway.
fine.
Yeah, it's not like it's
Okay,
gonna
okay.
No one's gonna call you
Oh,
out.
stop!
This
I
is
see you
actually
guys.
probably the most secure place to say it.
Yeah.
I think more people would care if you say it into your bathroom mirror, probably. Than...
Oh, we say it like Bloody Mary, and it'll come
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're gonna call it books as brilliant as Tolstoy.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yes.
Out of left field.
So.
yeah.
Did you
yeah.
try to keep the letters the same for that?
Yes.
we
Okay.
Yeah. So
Is
we
that
use the same
compromising
Benny.
everything though? Like,
Um.
what if it didn't have to be a T? That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Well, we
okay.
gave for
No, we specifically
really
were looking
deep.
for T's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Specific looking for
That's
T's.
what I mean. That
you know.
compromises everything.
Yeah, 'cause our website is the Bat Podcast.
Right.
So
Okay.
we
Makes sense.
figured.
Sure. That's
yeah.
fair enough.
So if it could be any book though, where you're like, this is the book that I want to be the benchmark for good books.
Yes, but we kind of wanted to okay.
Yeah, what
so
would-
this is where she and I differ. She writes a lot in novel form. I write a lot in poetry form. So I needed the syllables to be the same.
Yeah, okay.
I demanded that. So Tolstoy was the one that fit the best.
So if there's but you don't have to keep the same initials. You don't need the same whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
any
what
book.
would we pick?
Yeah, what would be the benchmark?
Oh boy. You see, I read a lot of fantasy, and all of the words are like very, very long.
Yeah.
So, books as brilliant as Stormlight Archives.
There we go.
Let's go with that.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I know. It's so simple.
There are worse ones you can pick for that, for fantasy. I mean, in terms of rolling off the tongue.
Yeah. What about you, Danny?
I would probably choose Pride and Prejudice.
Nice.
Books as brilliant as Pride and Prejudice.
Or A Christmas Carol. I really love A Christmas Carol.
Oh.
That
Wow.
I'm planning on rereading it this year. It's a
Oh,
little book.
babe.
It's so easy to read. Like,
You should see Danielle's reading schedule.
I don't
like
have
this.
it anymore.
Yeah, she got rid of it. It was too much pressure. But she marked out which chapters she wanted to read when. It was amazing.
Because I read so many books this year that I think I'm at like 84. So I figured I want to get to the big 100.
Yeah.
So
And you're also
I'm reading-
participating in novel writing month, right?
well, I quit.
No.
Nice.
I'm
That's
doing
so
so
funny.
much. So I was like, you know what?
That's so
Next
funny.
year, like day 4, I quit.
we say that every time next year.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I did it last year, right? Last year, yeah, I think I did.
Yeah, you
last
did
year.
last year.
Yeah, so you know.
Do you like having that reading schedule? Because initially, when I think about that, I'm like, that sounds like something I wouldn't like. And then I remembered that. Sorry, Pat.
Oh,
I
way to
used
go.
to do that. I
really?
used to like stop whatever I was doing at a certain time of the day and then just read.
Yes,
Even if I was
yeah.
enjoying what I was doing, just because I knew I would enjoy it by the end of it.
Yeah.
So is that kind of how that is for you?
It was like that, but then
Yeah.
after a while, like Brittany was saying, it just got too much. It was just so much reading a day.
I also wasn't reading 100 books a
Yeah.
year. I don't even want to
Sounds
ever
wild.
do that. Like, I don't want to force myself that much.
I
But
don't think I want to either in coming
Yeah.
years. Like I usually read up to well, because last year I typically read like 50 books at least.
Yeah.
And
that's still too much for me.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I tend to also read shorter books sometimes as well, like books from my childhood. So
Sure.
Oh,
I
yeah,
get
okay.
away with reading so many books.
Like American Girls.
Exactly. I'm reading the American Girl books.
Nice.
It sounds silly, but they're actually interesting to talk about, see the historical stuff.
Sure.
Some of them are actually good. Some of them suck, like Molly.
Oh God, Molly.
Molly. You guys obviously don't know
No.
about that.
I'm a big fan.
It's actually when I was listening to your thing, I'm like, they just go off on tangents like we do.
I know,
except
like
it's
this is
just
gonna
not.
go great.
It's just not about Star Wars
Yeah.
or like other nerdy stuff that we're into.
I have
Or
to
pictures.
mediate to
Opposite
make sure we
way.
don't talk about Star Wars.
I
again.
wish you guys had listened to the episode where we talk about toasted cheese sandwiches.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
It was in our Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
what is
Lost
it?
in a Book.
Lost in a Book. See,
Yeah.
I don't have the memory
What do
for
you mean
this stuff.
toasted cheese? Is that different from
Okay.
a grilled
Grilled
cheese?
I
That's
get
what it
yes,
is.
but they call it toasted
Whoa.
cheeses. in,
What are you
like-
guys talking about?
Okay.
For
I call it
backstory.
toasted cheese.
Do you really?
Why?
Because that's
No, he
what
doesn't.
they're. What do you? What's
Shut
going
up.
on right now?
A grilled cheese
Wait a
sandwich.
No, you
Wait a
don't.
minute.
I can't see your face. I don't know if you're lying.
I do. I'm being serious. I call them toasted cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, you
all the
didn't
time.
have a
Bullshit.
parent.
Oh my
So-
god.
I didn't, but like, that's what happens when you grow up in a broken home. You know.
This is wow.
Yeah, no,
is
our first
amazing.
American that says toasted cheese. Apparently, it's
First
a,
American.
it's a European thing.
I don't think
because you toast cheese. I saw it on
Right.
Tumblr.
Oh, that's
It's true.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, I think the book was trying to be like, oh, fancy.
No, it is on Tumblr, so
Yeah, yeah.
it has some backing.
Yeah.
No, they usually pick better words. It's like they're
Yeah.
toasting a cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever.
It is
actually
better.
grilled
No one
grilled
grill. Who the
cheese.
fuck grills the cheese
It is-
sandwich? Like
I do
grill
it in
it.
a pan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I do it in a
that's
pan,
not.
yeah.
That's not
is
grilling,
that
though.
grilling?
It's
Yeah,
frying
that's
not
technically.
frying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Frying.
yeah, but when
It's
you
Called
say
a
fried.
fried cheese sandwich,
Fried
which sounds
cheese sandwich.
disgusting.
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
sounds
because when you say
Sounds
fried
breaded.
cheese, it sounds like you fried the cheese
I
on a
would-
pan. so
Wait,
it's like
but
a
mozzarella
deep fried
sticks
it.
are delicious,
fried.
and they're fried cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Well,
you're
yeah,
making it
but
weird.
they're also breaded.
What do you mean you're
So-
making it?
It just sounds weird.
Wait, if it's breaded and fried cheese, that's basically a fried cheese sandwich, right?
Oh my
It's
god.
encompassed by bread and it's fried.
Wait a minute.
You're
So a
ruining
mozzarella
grilled-
stick
toasted
is a
cheese.
Fried cheese.
sandwich. So this is okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here's a
This
little
changes
fun
everything.
thing. It was a whole. Okay, there's called the National Sandwich Convention, where there was a discussion, literally on the agenda, about whether or not a hot dog
Right.
was a sandwich.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you
Oh.
believe that?
Yeah.
Is
Well,
a hot
where do
dog
you
a
fall on
sandwich?
that?
Is it a sand?
It's not.
Have you never thought about this
it
before?
is.
No.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think it's a
I'm
sandwich.
gonna say
it's
it
a
is.
sandwich.
Yeah, I would say it
think
is.
it's
Because if I eat a sub and it's not cut on the one
You're
side,
the only
it's still
person
a
I know from
sandwich.
Pennsylvania who calls it a fucking sub.
Jesus
It's a
Christ.
hoagie.
It's a hoagie.
You want to fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
It's a
water
hoagie.
ice?
It's
You guys
like
know water
exclusive-
ice?
No,
Yeah.
it's not water ice.
What is it?
Italian ice?
Italian ice.
Oh, I call it water
Or-
ice.
Italian
I
ice.
also people call it Polish ice.
I've never
I've heard that. Only because my
Polish
mom's
ice.
Polish.
Yeah.
So.
Aren't there?
So am I, but
Me too.
That was like the funniest. I'm sort of kind of faking interest. That was good.
wait, you or her?
Oh, tell me
No,
more.
no, that's her look all the time.
Was it? Okay.
Yes, that's when she's like actually intrigued. She's like, oh, you don't say.
All I said was my mom was Polish. That's not that interesting.
So sure
you're right
about your
here.
My
heritage.
mom is too.
Oh. This is why we don't record ourselves visually.
We did the one time.
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yes, it's we recorded. What was it called?
We watched a movie called Bespo.
Yeah, have
Right.
you
I
guys?
watched the beginning of that video.
It's so.
Nice.
I don't even think I got to the Beesbo part.
Yeah.
It's about an alien teaching kids manners.
No, it's the opposite. They teach him manners.
Oh,
so he
okay.
can blend in with
that's-
society.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is that based after a book? How'd you guys get
And
there?
then does he die from the germs on Earth?
what's that?
And
He
does
should.
he die
Wow.
from like the germs on Earth that
You
he's
know-
not acclimated to?
You would think, but no, it doesn't
No.
go down that route.
No.
No, it's not based off a book. It's a VHS tape that I don't know how I got when I was little, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it quite a bit.
You're making it sound like it was just slipped under your door or something. Like, can you find it in
My mom
stores?
doesn't know how we got it. Like she thinks my grandparents might have bought it at a garage sale or
Okay.
something. I don't know.
Can
Sounds
you
like a realistic
imagine? That'd be
story.
amazing.
It
Like
would be, but
just
I don't
random
know.
stuff
Yeah.
popping out of your house, and you get so much enjoyment out
If
of it.
somebody slips a VHS tape under my door, I am destroying it.
Well, first of all, you have to fix your door because that's a really
Yeah,
long
it's
slab.
really
yeah. My electric bill's out the roof. Out the door.
Out the door. Oh, man.
Am I right, guys?
Jeez. Oh my god.
Is it worth attempting to get back on track at this point?
Yeah, you can just awkwardly segue it. It's fine. I don't care.
Can you like not awkwardly segue?
No.
Like, can you ride a
I can
segue
figure
and not
this
be
out.
awkward?
Speaking of,
Sorry.
Wow.
He's got
Wow.
this one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
You got this.
that hurt.
Wait, do you segue?
It's over.
I was
It's
trying
done.
to. I don't think I
It's
could do it.
over.
I was trying to go from VHS tapes to Stephen King.
Oh, I
Well,
love
Stephen King is the cause of a lot of really low budget VHS
That's true.
tapes that might be
True.
sitting
There
on
we go.
people's shelves.
Now we got
So
there.
we had the VHS of it, and
Ooh.
I just recently bought it on DVD. So there you go. There's your segue. Go
There
on.
we go. So I saw in the bio, I forget which one of you, but one of you said you liked it, but you didn't like The Stand.
Correct.
Which, in my mind, for some reason, those are like connected because I read them like back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, that sounds exhausting actually. Those are
It
both
does.
good.
Those are
Exhausting.
huge
Yeah.
books.
I was like 14 too.
Oh god.
I used to read
You
a
had
lot.
nothing
when I was a
going
kid.
on.
Not as much anymore. But like, what made one stand out as opposed, or one you like and one you don't?
So Stephen King has this issue called The Hand of God.
That's like a literal thing in The Stand too.
Yeah, exactly. At the end, The Stand, the guy that saves the day disappears in the first act and is gone, and then it's written into a corner, and all of a sudden he comes back in a blaze of
That's
glory.
a Deus
and
Ex Machina.
is that
Yeah, I
what
was
it's
gonna
called?
say, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, but it's
Yeah.
also called The Hand of God.
Yeah.
So like that, it pissed me off, and I didn't like it. It was my father's favorite book, and I feel so bad about telling him how much I hated the book. And it took me 2 years to read. It took me 2
Oh.
years to read
It does
that
get
book.
really dry.
It took me 2 years to read it,
Wow.
and I threw it away. Actually, no,
okay
it's
to
a lie. I
do.
have it.
Oh, you do?
But I do a lot more audio because I'm an accountant. So I have nothing else to do today than to listen to audio stuff. So I listened to it, and it was amazing. And I love that one a lot. Got a little weird with the
It
kid
gets
sex.
weird. Yeah.
But
Well,
That always gets brought up.
yeah. And I'm curious how they're gonna do that in the next movie.
Probably
not.
not.
Show
I
kids
thought that-
sex.
they'll
Isn't that
probably
happening
just
to her?
not.
It just alludes to
I
it.
thought the kids part was over though.
I
It
think
is.
there's gonna be flashbacks, aren't there?
Oh, true,
don't know.
maybe. I'm so excited for Bill Hader's Richie Tozier though.
I'm sorry. Oh yes, I'm sorry.
What?
I very
I'm sorry for your loss.
I didn't remember the name of like.
Yeah.
I didn't remember the name, so I was gonna say, "I'm sorry, I don't know who you're talking
Okay.
about," and then I'll just.
Oh, your reaction to
Wait,
that
for
is
Bill
just-
Hader or Richie Tozier?
Bill Hader's pretty
I'm
good,
so
probably.
sorry. That is awkward. I apologize.
That was funny.
No, but I really enjoy Steve. I actually just watched The Shining on Netflix.
I just did too, like
Look
Yeah.
at
last
that.
month or something.
Pat was trying
Me
to
too.
watch
Oh my
31
God.
horror movies in October.
Did not
and he
go
failed
great.
miserably.
Failed.
Did you guys see
Failed.
The Haunting at Hill House?
No.
No.
The
Oh,
Netflix
No,
series?
that's.
I haven't seen a
Yeah.
movie in a long time.
Oh, it's
I don't.
it's
That
a
movie
series.
sounds awful. I
On
avoided
Netflix?
it on
No,
purpose.
it's a series, Chan.
Netflix and
What?
Netflix
It's a series.
Chandler. It's
I
new.
thought that was that new movie that came out. Oh, that's Hellfest. See, they're all the same.
That is a what?
No, don't you dare. I love
Oh,
horror.
sorry.
Horror is like one of my favorite genres of anything. But if you get to see The Haunting on Hill House, it's so good.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
You're not
watch
gonna
it.
watch it?
No, I'm terrified.
Are you
Signs
scared?
scared me. Now, granted, I was 13, so. But
It's scary.
It's kind of spooky when you're
kinda
like
spooky.
6.
yeah,
And she was 13.
Yeah.
Hush.
same thing.
And
Hope I
then,
can just slide that past you. What are you gonna say, Pat?
then you also had, so you liked it, didn't like The Stand. I mean, I get the whole thing with the ending. It was like,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of nowhere. I do, for some reason though, I don't like throwing away a book just because of the ending though. Because it was like,
I didn't
literally, it was like
physically throw
13
it away.
It was like 1,300 pages of solid book before he comes in. And
Well,
just,
see, I
like,
was just about to say,
ruins
doesn't
everything.
that sting more after you've just read 1,300
No,
pages?
dude, if he managed to write 1,300 pages of a book that I enjoyed,
I generally agree with you. for
yeah,
that
I
sort of
enjoyed that all the way through. I'm like, he kind of messed up the ending, but it's like,
But if it takes me 2 years to read a book,
yeah, no, the
then
Stand
it's
is,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're.
It was the same thing like Aragon. I don't know if
Aragon.
anyone's
Yeah,
read
the dragon
Aragon.
books.
Actually, I read the
Yeah.
series,
Yeah, the
so.
dragon books. That first book takes forever to get through.
Yeah.
Your first time reading it. Second time reading it, it goes much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another book I started, put down for 2 years, and picked up again.
Jeez.
Those books are rough to get through at times. Like,
Yeah,
I know,
the ending was awful. The final book,
Yeah,
I hated it.
I didn't mind the final book, but I don't
Remember
I don't
it?
know. No, I remember. I just I liked that everything kind of came together,
I
but I
hated that.
can't call it like a masterpiece because it's,
Yeah.
it's not.
Everything was.
I
good
think-
until this one. Go on.
I think it's interesting to invest so much time in reading a book and then have the ending not feel as satisfying, and then it makes you want to have like a negative opinion of the entire experience. But like I felt like that at a few points reading some books that I invested a lot of time into, but then I just kind of think like the rush about kind of leading up to whatever that climax may have been and whatever that journey was in between was so that feeling that you have as you're turning those pages and you have to go eat dinner because you'll starve to death if you don't do that, and you have to stop reading for a second, like, and you're like, I just have to know what happens. Like,
books
I feel
are kind
like
of cheating because you get dopamine when you get closer and closer to the end, and then you turn that last page and it could have been shit, but you're like, I'm done.
It's like the ending like doesn't matter that much to me, and there's a lot of books that I'm kind of like,
I don't know if I agree with that, but
I kind of agree where I think a good ending has a better effect on me than a bad one.
yeah, of course.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Like a good
but
ending
I don't
makes me
like,
feel way better about a book, but a
Yeah.
bad ending just like it doesn't change my mind too much about it for whatever
right.
reason.
I'm not like, oh, this was all now a waste of time, even though I liked everything up until this point, you know.
Let me put it this way: if the ending sucks, I feel hollow inside.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
Dude,
yeah.
Here's the ultimate version of that is my little sister refuses to finish Harry Potter because she doesn't want her favorite characters to
Doesn't
die.
want it to,
Oh, really?
Oh, how
That's
That's
what
fine.
Joey does in Friends.
Yeah,
Which I find
yeah,
is
that's
really
He
right.
puts the
What?
books
How
in the
old's your sister?
freezer
Yeah.
because he doesn't want.
Yeah, that's The Shining.
so cute. What,
I'm like-
stuff in the freezer?
Yeah, Joey puts The Shining
What?
in the freezer.
Oh.
But he's
I
reading
watch
Little Women.
Friends.
That's really funny.
Chandler
Oh, yeah,
watches
that's right.
Friends.
We were talking
LOL.
about that, yeah.
Chandler loves Friends, dude. So did his dad.
Yeah, Chandler's dad loves Friends.
Oh my god, I believe
not
it.
true.
That's awesome.
You sold me
not
on
true.
this lie.
Yeah.
I am
not
100% there.
What lie?
I look at it, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of deaths in Harry Potter that I don't agree needed to be happen.
Spoilers.
Yo, I kind of like. I'm fine with characters dying. I think that's good, especially
about
in
it,
like a
dude,
time
like-
of war or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Keep it coming.
but I just kind of wish Remus didn't die.
Yes.
I just kind of felt like that's something that
Stop my heart.
I felt like that's something that he just should
I
have
laugh
continued
this
to be
way
around.
and I get sad this way.
That's weird. I don't know what that means psychologically. There's something about that.
We need to
Right?
unpack that.
Oh no.
Yeah, Remus dying. That, yeah.
I think
I felt like he had a lot to offer for Harry after that was all done, and that wouldn't have happened.
there's no closure when he died.
Well, so people have interpreted that as basically Remus's son is kind of like Harry in that his parents died for a good cause,
Sure.
and that Harry is raising him, which
Yeah.
in the play we really don't get any of,
No.
which is so depressed. Have you guys?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I haven't. I listened to the one that I listened to was the introductory to A Cursed Child.
Oh, okay.
So I've
Same.
I've heard
Same.
some opinions.
Okay.
It was rushed though. You're right. I think the ending in general, in terms of closure, was kind of rushed.
I know the
Yeah.
epilogue killed it. I like the way it ended. The epilogue killed
Yeah.
everything though.
But to be fair, like Harry Potter books, like every single one ends kind of rushed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if there's a pattern. So like I never noticed it too much when I was younger, but now when I read them, because I've read them 8 times.
8 times I think.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, everything's over. I'm going on the train. Bye.
No, exactly.
yeah. They're at the train station and he leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, it's
That
so
actually-
annoying.
That's kind of how school feels though for some. Like it's
True,
it's like
yeah.
where you like
Yeah.
you get to the last month
Yeah.
and everything just flies by and you
Yeah.
have to do a bunch of tests and like all this like all the
That's
bad
very
stuff
true.
happens. Then it's
Yeah.
like you're right into summer and it's all
Yeah, but was
over.
that a conscious decision that she
I
made
have
to
no
write it
idea.
that
She
way?
went
She
Yeah.
made a
Wait,
lot
what?
of great mistakes.
yeah,
She made a lot of great mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, what's that book that you were reading about the circle theory for her?
I forget what the book's exactly called, but the guy who wrote it's named John Granger. He's called the Hogwarts Professor because he's written tons of books on Harry Potter.
That's cool.
And he has this theory called the circle theory, or the ring theory, that basically says
Yep.
that every Harry Potter book is a ring. And so like 1 reflects 7, 2 reflects 6, 3 reflects 5, and then there's 4 in the center.
Right.
So like
Okay.
for example, in book 2,
That's
they're always in the
interesting,
girls'
'cause
bathroom.
4 isn't my favorite. Never mind.
It's hard to pick.
Not
which
anymore.
4's my
dude.
favorite movie. 5 was my favorite book.
I love
Order of the
5.
Phoenix.
Five,
Yeah,
five was
we all
fucking
love
top
five.
tier.
So book 2, they're in the bathrooms a lot. In
Yeah.
book 6, you also see a lot of bathroom scenes, particularly the one with Draco. When
Yeah.
they have that
Right.
fight. And then
Oh, my arm is weird.
also
Just in general.
I like this. Like,
And then the chapters reflect each other too.
Sorry.
Wow.
Laughing at
It's-
myself.
I actually
I want to read about
only know about the ring theory,
Mm-hmm.
not because of Harry Potter's ring theory, but because of Star
it is.
Wars
Yes.
ring
Ah,
theory.
geez.
No, but
Yeah.
but it's interesting though that you say that because Star Wars and Harry Potter actually have a lot in common, so that makes sense to me that that's a thing.
Who can I roll my eyes with here?
Me,
I was
I'm
about
trying
to-
to regulate this. I'm doing my
Stop
best.
hitting my
It's
earbud.
okay to be passionate about
No,
it.
no, it's Star Wars, not the Harry Potter.
It's okay
Yeah.
to be passionate about Star Wars, even though I don't like. it.
Okay, yeah, I can't really. I play Dungeons and Dragons, so I can't really like poo poo
Dude,
on
same.
Star Wars.
Same.
love
We should get a
D&D.
campaign right now.
Oh my God.
Start it.
I can't even
Right
start
now.
my own
Sheets.
character.
I know. We'll get
What's
you
everybody's
there.
class, real quick?
What?
What's everybody's D&D
Rogue.
I
class?
well, right now I'm a bard.
Edgelord.
I've never played D&D. I would like
Me
to,
neither,
for sure.
yeah, me
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
Do you
bet.
like
Really fun.
storytelling?
Yes.
Okay.
You
I do.
know that when I come back, we're gonna do
Hell yeah.
a
God, I
video
hope so.
I
series
like how
where
you
we do
think
a
we have
D&D
fucking
campaign.
time, but okay.
Can I?
I'll make time.
I want
do
to
it.
tell
I
you
wanna
a
do it.
story of D&D really quick.
Alright,
The one
please.
time I was a character who was a prostitute who
As you
owed
do.
a debt to
Nice.
the king. Thank you.
See where
I
this is
looked the
going?
part. And we were attacked by a poisonous tree who shot out spikes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had spikes all over me, and everyone tried to help. So by raining down fire, which then caught my spikes on fire, so I was burning with these spikes in me.
That's
and
not good
then
for business.
and then everyone was rolling ones or twos.
Nice.
Ones or twos. So somebody rolled a 2 to call down rain. It came in like buckets. So it just shoved spikes further into me and my mutilated body. And my husband's character was so disgusted he threw up on me.
Nice.
Which then caused my wounds to have infections. And so
Jeez.
my character was just shit on. And so my persuasion went down
Right. that makes
because I
sense.
can't coerce people into sex, but my intimidation went up because I was a monster. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
My
Don't look at me
favorite
like
D&D thing I've ever done was I was in a campaign. I was a fighter. So I was a turtle fighter. Which means I was a giant turtle, and I rode a hippo. But the bard in our groups started playing Wonderwall, and I decided that was my character's favorite song, so I sang along in a really stupid deep voice, slower than the track was the entire way through.
That's amazing.
That's rough.
It was really, really stupid.
That
but
is
it was really funny.
amazing.
Awesome. A giant turtle. That sounds awesome.
Do you want to be a giant turtle now?
I mean, that really changes my character I have in my head, but honestly, sure.
I like
I'm gonna
that
have to
they're even
reroll my
like,
character.
I like what D&D is like. They're statted to be a fine character, but I made mine like super slow, and he talks slow, and like
Oh,
he's like
yeah,
really
it's a
strong. I don't know.
turtle.
Yeah.
That's
like,
embodying it.
yeah.
What makes for a more interesting story?
Yeah, for
Things are
sure.
a
It's
little
like
bit different.
if your character's too overpowered, then it's really boring.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think of, do you guys play Zelda at all?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
familiar.
for sure.
I've been playing Breath of the Wild,
Nice.
and
I want to switch. If you want to buy me one,
Same.
if I had the money, I totally would.
I'm gonna keep
because
trying
it's an
that on
amazing
all of our
game.
guests. It's the first time I thought about that. Eventually, somebody will say
Oh,
yes.
we're honored for popping your
Yeah,
Switch
sure.
cherry.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh, yeah, you have to buy it first.
Well, I played 100+ hours of Breath of
Okay.
the Wild at this
Wow.
point. It's so good. But what are those guys called? The Gorons, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
I,
Oh,
you should know
okay.
you played 100+
Yeah, right?
hours.
Come on.
Well, it's only one part of it.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Brittany.
Plus, that area is really annoying.
Yeah. Well, have you played that?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
like where
yeah.
you need the heat-resistant armor, right?
Yeah, which I got. I
That's
forget.
everyone
I think I
calls
got
it.
it pretty
Sure.
early. Thank God, because I kept setting on fire. It was awful. I got heat elixirs and I accidentally took another one over it, so it canceled it out.
Ooh.
And I was
Nice.
like running, and I was
I
like,
did that before.
you know, I was like,
That
why am
sucks.
I burning? I took an elixir. Like, it took me a little while to figure it out, so that was great.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And you made a perfect segue. This season, we're actually talking about a book called Elixir by Hilary
Oh
Duff.
wow!
Oh,
there
you're
we go.
right.
Oh,
So
That
yeah.
was way better than
Ooh.
mine, which
That
I
was an-
failed to do.
Yeah, it's alright. I
You're
got
on
you.
top. Yeah, that's right.
I do segues on our show.
She does actually. She's really good
Got a
at it.
segue guy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, we're reading Elixir now, and it is awful. So
Nice.
you
Okay.
guys should
It
definitely
sounded
pick it
kind of
up.
awful.
And we
Yeah.
said by
Hilary Duff is a part of it, so that's how you know.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, Hilary
Okay.
Duff, that book's probably not that great. And then you
So-
read reviews that said it was worse
Yeah.
than they thought it would be. And I'm like,
So there's this point where they go to find a mummy woman inside the mall in Tokyo.
nice.
Oh, right.
okay,
Is this a
like-
Goosebumps
that
book?
sounds- Sounds like a
it could
Percy
pass
Jackson
as one.
plotline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's no resolution at the end,
It's good.
and
Well, there has to be sequels.
and there's two other books.
2 other books.
You can have a resolution without not leaving it up
Exa-
for a sequel.
You think Hillary?
Thank you.
You
You're
think Hillary
supposed
Duff
to.
was like, dude, I don't know how to end this. And the other person's like, just don't. And then they just
You know, that could have happened.
Just
think
end it
that
at the
is-
beginning of the next one.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
God.
Hillary, you're rich. You don't need to make money off this.
Why are we doing this
I'm gonna
again?
be the next J.K. Rowling.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was when she was dating Joel from Good Charlotte. That's when this
Good
book
Charlotte,
Was
jeez.
it?
Don't
Yeah.
you dare! I just went to go see them the other weekend.
I was about to say, are they still a thing?
Yes, they
Okay.
just
Yeah,
released a
they
new
are.
album,
What was
man.
the big Good Charlotte song?
Boys and Girls, the anthem.
Yeah,
Wonder
that's what I was thinking. The anthem.
Good girl.
I know all the songs in that. I was actually listening to it on the way to.
I'm so happy.
Yeah.
All right, we're stuck in 2002. That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's.
What else
I
happened
would
in
like to stay there.
2002? I was 4.
Four.
All right.
How old are you?
I was 20.
15.
Oh.
I was,
Okay, that like that makes a
shook
lot
me to
more
the
sense.
core.
Yeah, you're shook.
Yeah.
You can tell.
I'm only like a month older than him, and it still shakes me. to
Wait,
the
so you're
core.
only 20?
No, I'm
no, he's
24.
He's old.
Don't do this to me.
Hmm.
I'm 28.
Me too.
No, I'm 27.
Wait.
I'm turning
I know
28.
Yeah, I'm
too.
20.
Same.
What?
My birthday only matters one day a year, so like I forget my age a lot.
That's really pushing it one day a year, too. You're about to have your last good birthday.
It does. It also doesn't matter.
goes
Yeah.
downhill
After this,
after
I can
that.
do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Up
I think
until now, I had
30s will be pretty
limitations.
good. I'm looking forward to my 30s.
No, I'm
you?
not saying age. I'm saying like the birthday itself.
Yeah.
I don't want to live
Just
that
that
long.
mortality reminder that gets pretty rad
Yeah.
every year.
I don't know how you guys fucking party, but birthdays at our house are nuts. Mortality. What are you talking about?
Sounds like a much better time.
It does sound way
like a
better than
better
I was
time, yeah.
planning.
Our
Yeah.
house
Let's all
is-
get drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on over.
I can legally do it.
Yeah,
there you
go.
We can read bad books. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can come on our side.
You guys are doing an admirable thing because I have a hard time getting myself. I have just a hard time finding a book that I want to read, let alone
Yeah.
being, oh, this is bad. Let's keep going. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
There are a lot, like, I've read personally a lot of bad books. A lot of times on our list are some of the books I've already read.
Yeah.
In fact,
More times
Yeah, but
than
then do you
not.
reread them?
Yeah.
for fun.
That's fucked up.
It is. It is indeed. In fact, that's we were
That's
just
why
talking. I regret my decision.
Yeah.
but we like. Well, I didn't read Lost in a book. That one I just thought would be bad.
Sure.
And it was.
First Child. I read.
Actually, I think that Lost in the Book was the best one that we've read.
I was gonna say Lost in a book was just really fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was bad.
King
but, like,
Otto.
Oh god. Yeah. If you've listened to our
You
show,
hardly knew
King
ye.
Otto. You hardly knew ye. Yes, King Otto.
What are you doing?
I want to look
just
through.
ask.
I want to look through.
Oh no, I'm talking to
oh,
Amresse.
So I wanted to find some similarities in the books that you said you guys liked, like the
Oh, actually, I don't think we have many.
Well, I mean, we both like Harry Potter, but
Harry Potter was on there.
Yeah.
Dude, Dark Tower is phenomenal, by the way. You should definitely read it.
Dark Tower. I want to. I'm intimidated by the length of the series.
Yeah.
It's a what? 13 books?
13.
No, it's like 7 or 8.
Is it?
I think actually I don't even. It's like there was 7, and then there was like a graphic novel released in between
Mm-hmm.
4 and 5, I think. And then I think they just released another book actually.
Do you like fantasy?
Yeah,
Did you read the Stormlight Archives or
No.
anything by Brandon
I
Sanderson?
have not.
Definitely give that a shot.
I'm scared to try
down.
Brandon Sanderson.
Why?
Is that high fantasy type stuff?
It is high fantasy.
I'm scared to try that. I don't
He
think I'll
writes
like it.
beautifully. Though.
Okay.
So there's this one book he has called Mistborn.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, I've
Now-
heard about it. Yeah.
So what's cool about that book is what really irks me.
Is that a
about,
series or a book?
It's a series.
Okay.
The series is called Mistborn.
Sure.
I think. I don't know. Who knows? But if you type it in, it'll pop up.
Yeah, no, I've definitely heard of it.
So what really annoys me about fantasy is when magic isn't explained. Like Harry Potter, the magic isn't explained at all in any. Is
sure.
it? Does the wands have the power? Do the people have the
Yeah.
power? Do the words have the power? What is going on? So in Sanderson's world, he actually lays out the magic system for
Right.
you.
Oh, wow.
So in Mistborn, what they do is they consume metals, and those metals trigger abilities like pewter. You become stronger.
Sure.
And copper, your senses like magnify and all that type of stuff. So he actually goes into detail of when the character is burning a specific type of metal.
Wow.
And it is amazing. And like
Okay.
I turned off copper, turned on pewter, turned off pewter, turned on whatever. And like the way it's written is so seamless, and I loved it.
Because the only exposure to magic in books that I've read has been really subtle, like in Tolkien and Song of Ice and Fire.
Okay.
So I'm nervous. I don't know. I don't know if I can take it. It might be too much.
Yeah.
What I really like about the Dark Tower is that there's like some stuff where there's like, I don't want to say sci-fi, but it's like the world that they're living in is kind of in shambles. So you don't really know what's going on, but like there's like
Is it
times where it's like
post-apocalyptic?
part of it.
Okay.
It's
Is there
a whole
magic in
thing.
it?
There is a little bit of magic, but it's also like you're not sure if it's just science that they can't grasp, which I really like.
Oh.
Because they're like,
Okay.
Okay.
there's also
So it's kind of like found technology.
kinda, yeah. It's like throughout all 7 books, you kind of go a lot of places and a lot of stuff happens. So like, I'm sure I'm forgetting some stuff, but it's like I really enjoy the take on magic where it's just technology we don't understand yet.
Or it's not very
it's
like
alien
clear cut about what
technology.
it is. Because the Song of Ice and Fire is even like that to an extent. Like you're not totally sure if like it's actually happening.
She reads a lot of Game of Thrones.
I just actually finished rereading the 4th and 5th book.
I'm probably gonna wait until the next book gets released to reread it. So
Kind of hoping it'd be out this year,
Yeah.
so that's why I started.
I could probably read through all of them before that happens.
I have definitely do it. I have the Dunk and Egg books and I haven't read them yet.
Okay, yeah.
Have you read them?
I have.
I hear they're really good. They're different but really good is what
Yeah.
I hear.
I can't see. It's been a while, so I can't really
Okay.
comment on them. But I did like them because it's in that whole. I forget what
Yeah.
it's called, the Night of 7 Kingdoms.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's called.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
I have that collection.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What the hell is that thing?
Which thing?
I think
There's a lot of vague things in the
sheet
corner.
I think okay, so when the concert was going on, it was a Halloween show, so they draped some sheets over the speakers and gave them ghost faces.
Oh.
And I guess they decided to move
I
on.
think
That's
that's
hilarious.
a gumball machine, isn't it?
Is
I
it?
don't know.
It looks like to be the
I'm pretty
shape
sure
of
it's
a
a gumball
It
gumball.
looks like the
machine. I really
gumball
don't
from Adventure Time. Does anybody watch that here?
Oh, it's been a while. Like the
At some
Adventure
point I
Time.
Yeah. What?
Adventure Time? Is it the?
Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chandler,
Okay.
Are you
Chandler
thinking
looks-
of regular show?
No.
No. Oh, well, isn't there like a
Okay.
gumball from like the Candy Kingdom or something? Maybe I'm.
I
thinking?
don't have any idea.
I
All I
haven't
know
watched it in a
is that
while.
That's
little
the high fantasy I'm
ladybug,
into.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
that cat ladybug thing, and it goes,
Cat bug?
yeah, cat bug.
That's amazing. Oh my god.
That goes, pickle chips. I don't know them, and then continues on her way.
That's amazing.
It's my favorite.
Oh.
It's made into a meme constantly, and I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh goodness. Yeah, Adventure Time's classic.
I have a question.
Sure.
This one, since I started listening to your podcast and I found out about you guys,
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It
since
is.
I
I
started
just
on this
cringed
journey,
so hard.
I have this one burning question for sure, which is why, and I think I kind of know the answer, but why is Twilight like the benchmark for how bad the books are? Like what did Twilight do in terms of negatively impacting both you as individuals and the literary community at large to the point where you're like, this has to be
Time for the second
Wow.
hour,
Yeah.
folks.
Well, first let me
Stretch
say
out. This
that the reason that our podcast is called what it is that Twilight, I think it's bad, but it gets
Okay,
more
yep.
hate than it actually warrants, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason for our podcast is because we're thinking that there are books that are worse than Twilight. Then we're trying to figure like
It
well,
doesn't
not
get as
necess-
much flack.
So you're actually
Yeah.
doing Twilight a favor, really.
kind of.
Yes
I mean,
and no.
well, yeah, exactly. Like we don't like Twilight, but
Is it
I mean,
dead?
I had a good experience reading.
So for Twilight, I had a decent experience until the last book.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. Have you guys ever read Twilight?
I have not read Twilight. I've
My grandmother read all of Twilight, and I had to hear about it secondhand.
hilarious.
You know, she would talk about the
Yeah.
characters in the book to me like she knew them.
Oh my god,
That's
that's
like,
adorable.
And I was like, okay, dude. And she went and saw like all the movies when they premiered as they were coming out.
We should
and
have your
stuff.
grandmother on our podcast.
We
do
totally
that.
should. Oh my god.
that might be the first grandmother on a podcast ever. You can talk
Probably.
about
That's
it.
true. We should do that.
Yeah,
dude.
we're gonna get on that
Definitely
before
do
you
that.
come.
Oh damn it!
Both
Milestone.
my
This is
grandmothers
my
did that.
idea. God
The
damn
race
it!
for Chandler's grandmother.
So funny.
She'd be so disappointed in me if she were on our show. She should really go on yours instead.
Amresse's grandmother hates us, actually.
I love Maggie. Don't you dare.
No, she hates us.
Tell her why.
Oh, why?
Tell her exactly.
We went to.
Can we say this on air?
Yeah, fuck it.
We already said
We're
it.
live right. We're live right
We
now.
said it on air once, and that's why she hates
Yeah,
us.
we had like a
isn't
whole
it?
we
episode.
We can say it again. Who cares?
We had a whole episode about Lee Heighton and this crazy place she
No, it
works
wasn't
at.
Lee Heighton.
No.
It was.
I
What's it
wasn't
called?
actually there, okay?
It was stupid. Wasn't it?
Weatherly.
Weatherly.
Weatherly. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of weird, creepy shit happened.
Oh, so you guys went to Weatherly?
Yeah,
We trashed
Yeah.
on
Amresse
Weatherly.
kidnapped us and took us to Weatherly.
As she does.
Yeah.
As
Oh,
she does.
okay.
She's
All
like,
right.
yeah, we're going to see my grandmother in Lee Heighton, and then drove an extra hour. And like,
Yeah.
and
That
what
was
tilted
great.
me.
Past Tamaqua.
So Amresse kidnapped
Yep.
us and all, and then but Shannon was like, "Well, at least we're down here. We can eat at Platz's." And I'm like, "I don't know what that is." And he's like, "Dude, it's really good. Trust me."
I don't know what Platz's is. What the
I've
hell?
heard
It's a
of it.
PJ Wellahan's. It's just PJ Wellahan's.
It
at
got
Platz.
changed. I forgot it
And there's
came
a
under
PJ's, like,
management,
Oh,
and they turned it
no.
into a
My
PJ Wellahan's.
Wait. Are you from the Weatherly area too, Chandler?
I'm from Tamaqua.
Ah, Tamaqua. Another
Yeah, good
shithole.
old
Yeah.
Tamaqua.
I'm from Hazleton,
I took them
so.
there.
Oh,
Weatherwood.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to go to Weatherwood, which I'm pretty sure is a government institution.
I don't know.
It
if
looked
I
like-
Oh, Weatherwood.
It looked like it was one bad event away from being in a Resident Evil game.
Yep. Yes.
But,
yes.
Wait, is this? Are these
It-
towns? Like,
Oh,
Weatherly's a
Weatherwood.
town.
Weatherly is.
I've
Unfortunately.
never heard of that.
You wouldn't. It's small.
Okay.
It's very, very tiny.
Weatherwood basically looks like the what's
The Dharma Initiative building
I
from
was-
Lost.
that's a good one. I was gonna
Weatherwood's
go
a giant
Stranger
one.
Things. It looks like Hawkins' Power and Light
Okay.
or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
It's basically
Yeah.
If you think of a brick red building that you're pretty sure someone's doing tests in, that's the right image.
So,
Scary.
so why are you guys in Weatherwood?
She kidnapped us.
Cause she kidnapped me. It wasn't like
It was all
planned.
Amresse.
But why does okay? Yes. Please
Oh, yeah,
say
go
why
on.
Maggie.
All right.
Well, so
I can,
oh, she's
so I
gonna
kidnapped
explain.
these guys.
Explain it.
Told them that they
Uh,
were gonna go to one place. They weren't.
The
I said,
classic
we just have to-
Amresse switcheroo.
I said we just have to get something for my grandmother. We're just stopping at my grandmother's house. So they think we're going to my grandmother's house. I take them to Weatherwood, and we walk into Weatherwood, and first thing we're greeted by
a
some
creepy abandoned hospital.
creepy abandoned hospital. We're
abandoned
greeted
this
by a man that's just like licking himself and being like,
Oh, it's even
"You're
better.
pretty."
On the front door, there's
But we
a
didn't
sign.
know that.
No, there was a sign that said, like, "Do not enter." Is
Quarantine.
Like, yeah, quarantine.
There was a
Yeah, it was
sickness
a
announcement that said
quarantine.
quarantine. We didn't see the sign until we left the place.
Oh no! What,
It was just very weird. It
For,
was
like,
just a
some type
very
of Ebola
eerie,
or something like that, so we
scary.
don't-
No, the quarantine was just for flu. It wasn't anything
For-
bad. And it was
for
also
flu,
it
yeah.
was like up later than it should have been. We were actually
Oh,
in no
okay.
danger of getting flu.
We have a
luckily.
whole episode where we talk about
Yeah,
this. I'm gonna
yeah.
flash the thumbnail up right
Yeah.
now.
Yes,
or will
thank
I?
you. Because I want to.
So
I want
you
to
guys
see
can
this.
watch that. Or
The
don't,
follow up
preferably.
essentially to that Weatherly story and us talking about it on that episode of the podcast, the follow up is
Oh, yeah.
that Amresse's grandmother watched that podcast
Oh no!
and she's
So she watches
And
the
she-
episode with Myra in the car, which is our cousin. She loves the
Our
episode.
cousin- Thank you.
Family.
I'm not
She
family.
loves the episode, laughing her butt off the entire time. Then
Of course
calls-
she is.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, look at us.
right. And then she calls me up that evening.
Yeah.
And she's like, Amresse, you need to take this podcast down immediately. I think I might have to go to the directors of the hospital and tell them about this. I could get sued. I could lose my job. She's freaking out. She gets very upset. She says that my friends are weird, terrible people for talking.
about right.
She was like, "What if the patients' families knew about this?" And I was like, "Maybe
Well, they should
they would-"
probably know. They should probably know that the
They're being held
Women-
hostage.
a
Someone should
woman
go help
actually
them.
said help. Like there was multiple people that just kept saying
Help.
help.
Oh
They
my
did that.
God.
They do that in Hazleton
there was
too.
there was a locked unit. There was a locked
Just
unit
in
that a
Hazleton.
doctor
Dude,
locked us in. It
It's
was
the
bad.
fucking coal regions of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Like down here in the valley, you don't understand. Like
Oh,
My
God.
favorite part was at some point. So we were out of Weatherwood. And we were sitting in Amresse's car because Amresse had to go run back in for some reason, talk to her grandmother. And some dude just starts mowing the lawn, a lawnmower from like the 50s. And he was
Yep.
like looking at us. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like,
Yep. That sounds very weather.
We were like
and
we were like scripting out a horror
No gas
script
stations.
the
No
entire
gas
like a
station.
horror
And the
short film
scariest part of the whole
script
thing,
as it was
absolutely
happening
no
to
cell
us. We were
phone
like,
reception.
but we were just writing the things happening.
I was
like,
listening to both of you. Sorry. Go ahead, Chandler.
oh, I died. My connection died really bad. I said we were actually in like while things were happening, we were writing a
you
horror short
serious?
film
Oh, yeah.
script.
Yeah, Chandler's
But
taking
we
notes.
but we were just writing what was happening.
Yeah.
Like we weren't embellishing anything. We were just writing things down that were
We
happening.
were even like,
Why don't we use that for creative freedom?
that was a good point. We even were like, we need a better concept of how the characters would get here in the movie, because the way it happened to us didn't make any sense.
Well,
and
there
shouldn't
is-
have happened. Like who just
We're just
kidnaps 3 of
idiots.
their friends and
That
drives
would
like
make
2 hours?
that would make a very clever like Netflix show, you know.
I wrote, I was like,
You're
maybe
welcome.
Amresse is in on it, and that's why she kidnapped us and brought us there, because she's
Well,
like that was part of the plan.
There's literally no gas station in that area, so
There isn't.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
or
arrived,
ATMs,
and there was no
or cell
reception
phone
for
towers.
Anyone.
No,
And the whole
no.
time, so they were scared. They couldn't even. Chandler was like, "I just gotta let somebody know my location, where I'm at right now." It's no messages are going through.
Been in that area though.
I
You
have.
know.
I had been to
We drive
Weatherly
into
before.
town and everybody
but I
already knows
hadn't
each
been
other,
to
so
that.
when a new car comes in, everyone
place.
stops like in the movie Get Out, and they're just staring.
It's true. There,
Yeah.
When we were driving down the main road, people were literally like putting stuff down and looking
You
at
have-
us as we drove
Okay.
by.
God.
The fact
Oh
that
my
you
God.
are guys with long hair
Hmm.
is an instant trigger for anyone in that area.
Yeah.
Do they live in
Good,
like the
I-
70s?
Yes.
I was just
Okay, that makes sense. Actually,
I was just so
Great job.
immensely flattered that like somebody was so offended by something we did on the show that they demanded it be taken down on an entire town's behalf, like on an entire hospital's behalf in town. It was
That's-
honestly a high point so far.
Coal,
in this
coal
show.
region pride.
What
sure.
book do you need to shit
Yeah.
on for that to happen to you guys?
Yeah, who's
That's the
gonna
next
get
step.
mad?
Wait, what?
What book can you shit on that
So
will
that-
make someone will be like, you guys have to take this down? That's my
Oh.
I
favorite.
can't
book.
say this.
What?
The Fall
Oh, I know a
Yeah,
book.
yeah. We
That will probably do it.
we refuse
good
to
idea.
we refuse to do Fault in Our Stars.
Or like the
That's
Bible
funny.
would be another good
How about
one.
can we do that right now? Actually, because that book sucks.
It does.
It does.
It sucks.
You can do
Right
it. You can
in
say
there.
whatever you want on our show. We'll take the fall.
The Bible.
Yeah, yeah.
No, Fault in Our Stars.
Anything about Nicholas Sparks.
All right, that book really.
Yeah,
Amresse.
go ahead,
Amresse,
Amresse.
literally, that book's a bad love story, but everyone has like terminal
so
illness,
bad.
and that's why you're supposed to feel bad. That's the way he elicits emotion, is by taking
Amresse is
taking advantage
amazing.
of terminal illness.
This makes great for visual and audio, just
She's
not
literally-
seeing or hearing. You know?
She's just walking
For
back
anybody
and
who's
forth.
played Super Smash Bros, she's charging up Donkey Kong's key right now. She's about to like.
She's about to
That was funny.
charge.
That was funny.
Yeah, no, so we refuse to do that.
Wait, what? I mean, if you're comfortable talking about, I'd like to hear why you don't like it either.
If you're comfortable. It's
I don't
too
know, like
traumatic.
how much you don't want this stigma on you.
Well, no.
Well, we don't want to do a whole.
Well, listen. I mean,
Okay.
people gotta
We-
grow up. If you don't, if
we-
you don't like something that they like, get over it.
We
It's fine.
don't
Yeah,
do
like
it
an
only
entire town.
Fuck weather.
It's the official stance. Fuck Weatherly. Fuck Fault in Our Stars.
fuck
And
Hazelton.
anybody in Weatherly reading Fault in Our
Fuck
Stars.
Lou Barletta.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, no.
All right, no, we're not.
Grammy? I didn't say
Okay,
any of
that's
this.
fair, that's fair,
I
that's
didn't
fine.
say any of
That's
this,
fine.
Maggie.
It's only your
I'm
fault
so
if you show
sorry.
the episode. So
Yeah, I can say that about
Go.
Lou Barletta. I don't like him. He has
Big
very
facts.
what?
Big facts.
Big facts. I don't trust anyone that white of teeth. Paid by the taxpayers' money. Oh God, sorry. I don't like him.
Are
But
there any particular good grievances about Fault in Our Stars you have to get off your chest here?
we don't want to do it because I know it's helped a lot of people.
Okay.
And I don't ever want to shit on something that helps someone else. So, with other people that it has brought some type of comfort to, which is why I won't ever shit on a religion. It brings comfort to other people. So,
that's fair.
that's why we decided not to do that. Even though we both agree that the plot is pretty poor.
Yeah.
The writing's not the best.
No.
Even if you take it at the fundamental core, I
Yeah.
don't think it's a good book.
All I'll say is that the whole premise of the book is that it's a book about cancer, but it's not written like other books about cancer, i.e., Walk It to
Right.
Remember.
Right.
But like, I
Oh,
don't think it's that different. Actually, I mean, I think it uses a lot of tropes that cancer books use, and cancer books.
is this a genre? Like,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that a section
I
in
hate
the
to say that,
library?
but
Illness.
yeah.
Yeah, illness
Well,
is a
yeah,
whole genre.
It is. It is.
terminal illness.
That was the
one
impression that
specifically.
I got of it as well. Is it's trying to be like, look, I'm different. It's
Yeah.
not every other cancer book. When
Well,
it's
I really-
But that's John Green.
It seems like
Sure.
the characters were just like their character. What defined them was like that they all had terminal illnesses. I feel like that was like their characterization in the book. Is like, yeah, I'm gonna die
I
soon.
don't know. I haven't read it in a while. I don't know.
About John Green?
I like John Green as a person. I did like his book Turtles All the Way Down. I thought it was a better
I
book.
read that.
But
I love the
I don't
title
know.
of that.
It's a good title.
Oh, does it strike something personal to you?
Oh, you were a turtle?
Yeah, it was a turtle.
I'm sorry.
You said that, and Pat was like,
Turtles, yes.
Turtles.
Got a hard on for. No, I tried to make that. I couldn't do it. Shell.
I
hard.
love the Vlogbrothers. I love. Does anybody?
Same.
Know? Yeah.
Same. I used to watch them back when
Yeah.
I
like
don't know who that is.
that
YouTube.
first started.
Yeah.
And YouTube
Yeah.
was still cool.
What's
Yeah.
what are what?
John Green, who wrote The Fault in Our Stars.
Okay.
Him and his brother when YouTube was first around.
Hank.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a perfect name.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They started
Hank?
Vlogbrothers. Yeah.
Hank's a great name for a cat. Like human names for cats are perfect.
What?
Like,
Yeah.
Pretty
Hank,
good.
the fuck
That's
are
pretty
we?
good, dude. That's Hank's
Jesus
good.
Christ, man.
Yes.
Hank
indeed.
is good.
It's a great name for a cat.
I like when animals are also named after other animals. So you have a dog named Elephant.
That's pretty good too. Oh my god,
I hate that. That is the worst thing to me.
that's
I
hilarious.
hate that. My friend in high school, he had a cat named Puppy, and I fucking like. It was so I was so confused all the time. I was like, "Did you get a puppy?"
Were you happy?
Wait, what?
Never
That
mind, I won't go there.
that confused you for more than 10 minutes?
It's just like because when you hear it in passing, the way they would say it for like a split second, you'd be like, "What?" And then you're like, "God damn it, that's a fucking cat's
That's
name."
because
Like,
Chandler is a sucker for husky puppies. That's
Oh,
why.
I love
I am.
huskies.
Oh, I
I like
had a
pomskis. Is that what they're called?
Pomsky.
Oh
They're
yeah,
huskies
Aren't
and
they, like, this
Pomeranians.
big?
That sounds like a DJ.
That would be a great DJ name.
Pomsky.
But no, it's like they breed the husky and the Pomeranian, and so it's like a little, like it looks like a puppy all the time,
Just
but it's
sounds
a
confusing.
husky. It's so cute.
just sounds. Your dog breed's too confusing. I don't want it.
Get away from
The
me.
generic cat named Puppy was too confusing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Pomsky.
I mean, it's better than my cat, who's named Bella of all things.
Yeah. Which brings
Like-
us back
like
to
Twilight
Twilight.
at the time.
Nice.
So did you.
That's
there
not
any
my
other-
name for that.
Are
Dude,
there any
another-
other book things we gotta
Another
get off
character,
our...
Bella, also just seems like
Yeah.
a character with no characterization, and she's just kind of there, so you can be like,
Did you
"That's
know-
me."
Yeah.
That's why she wrote it that way.
She's the
Yeah.
fan fiction
Yeah.
girl. Like she's
Yeah.
just a fan fiction female protagonist.
Well, think about 50 Shades of Grey as
Yes.
well. 'cause
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
started,
Oh
yeah.
God, yes. Don't you dare! That was a shit book.
It is. Yeah.
Don't you dare!
I won't say
The
sorry. for that
amount of
one.
times she sighed, blushed, bit her lip, licked her, like, no. Short sentences that were written by a fucking 10-year-old.
True.
Oh no! Oh no!
Amresse actually gonna have a
Amresse
seizure.
is not enjoying it. I wrote,
Wait,
wait,
how do you put it over the edge?
I already, like, I've read better fan fiction about Drago and Hermione
Yeah.
than fucking 50 Shades of Grey.
It's-
Like,
yeah.
I am here for Neville Luna pairing. Like, I will go down with that shit.
What was it like? One of the fanfics you read was like
Which
between
one?
the giant squid and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, and the castle, and the castle.
I want to read that. Sounds
Yo,
good.
there's also one Dobby on a sock.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Is
Hermione.
it, are these lemon fanfics though?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
100%.
Awesome.
Hermione and the Sorting Hat. So the
Right.
Sorting Hat
Ooh.
had a dick.
Can I tell
so,
them about my
Right.
fanfic idea?
oh yeah, go
I
ahead.
want to write a Draco and Bill Weasley fanfic,
Ooh.
and it will be it will kind of be like "Call Me by Your Name." You know,
That's a
so
hot
it's called
take.
call me by your Patronus. I already have a book. Wait, my phone. I'll
Yeah,
show you
she
guys after.
already has it
I made a
photoshopped.
cover.
That's okay. Dude, speaking of, for
Oh.
some reason, I don't know why that made me think of this, but there was a movie that came out, like, it was after the Fall of the Stars. They had a movie, right?
Yeah.
That did
Yeah.
okay, I'm not crazy. So after that came out, there was a movie came out like 2 months later where it was a kid was born on Mars and he couldn't come. He had to come. I don't know. He couldn't come to
Yes.
Earth or whatever.
Yeah, he was born in space.
And it's called The Space
Yeah.
Between Us, which
Yeah.
they really missed out
Yes.
because it should have been called The Fault in Our Mars, which would have been amazing.
Wow.
Oh
that
my
would've been
God.
great,
Behind.
actually.
You're
Nice.
fired. This is the last
That
show
sounds like a
you're
legal
doing.
issue.
Probably would be
hilarious.
actually.
I would have seen that stupid movie about a kid growing up on Mars if it was called A Fault in Our Mars.
That's amazing.
Agreed.
Yeah, somebody needs to write that.
Not me.
Not me either. So yeah, we always have these grand ideas.
They never come to fruition.
No. Yeah. You know, I'm still working my Belle Death fanfic. Anyway, that's a
still
whole
do it.
Bella who?
Based on the first book.
Yeah, the first book we read, there was some
Oh,
romantic tension.
there was a lot of sexual tension between Belle and the witch.
Yeah. But it wasn't meant to be there. So Brittany kept saying, "Oh, I think they're gonna get together." So I was like,
She
"Oh
kissed
my god!"
her on the forehead, and like it's like
No, I agree with you. It's
My
very,
precious Belle.
it's very weird. So I want to write a fanfic of like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, the animated one, falling in love with Death. Oh,
yeah, because the witch's name is Death.
yeah, she's literally.
Is she
Death.
actually deaf?
Yes,
Or, like,
She's
okay.
actually
Yeah.
Death. It's a thing. It's a fun time.
That's hot.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty hot personally.
Well, thanks for coming on, guys. You know, I had a really good.
So, where can we find?
All right,
Books
this is
as bad as Twilight.
Right.
yeah.
You can
Go
find
ahead.
us at www.batpodcast.com. I say that all the time.
And on there, you'll be able to find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. No, we don't have a LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Good. Can we please make a LinkedIn?
That'd be amazing.
I don't know if it works like that.
Yeah.
Probably, well,
Yeah, how do you think that
business
works?
LinkedIns.
I'll figure
I
it
meant
out.
for like the website.
Oh. Wait, what?
Like if you had a book
I don't
as
think Zach
bad
knows
as.
what LinkedIn is.
No, I know what LinkedIn is.
See, Zach's actually old,
Yeah.
so he uses
Sure, I
LinkedIn.
forgot. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out. But
And
we have
how-
all the social media
Right.
shits.
And don't you have new episodes out like twice a week or something?
Yes, we twice a week. We took a really long hiatus because we had vacations and stuff. But
Sure.
yeah, we have about 3 seasons up now.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
third one
three-
just started.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's Tuesdays and Fridays. Episodes
Is there a
come out.
certain time or just like whenever
I-
it gets up?
I
Whenever it
usually
gets
upload them. I mean, yeah, I'll say whenever it
Okay.
gets up, just to cover our asses. But typically, it's up at midnight.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
Where do we have to plug?
Yeah.
Why, Elliot, and
Just
everything?
follow Lab212 on everything. We're Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch.
And
Twitch TV. I was live streaming Lisa, the Painful RPG, 2 nights ago, and we have some other stuff that's going to be coming out on the Twitch in the near future. So keep an eye out for that, I guess.
In the near future.
And I think that is it.
Cool.
Amresse is doing the Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
thing.
Amresse.
Thank you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming on the
thank
show.
you.
You guys
Thanks
were
for having us.
lovely.
You're doing God's work reading all of that book. So we don't
it
have
means
to-
a lot to us.
No, I mean,
Sorry, I just